Okay. Hi, Calvin. Welcome to the Chaos Engineering Work Group Sync Up. So I think this is our third work group sync up. And we don't have too many participants today. I have a brief agenda, an update on the logistics part of the work group. We were trying to obtain a dedicated GitHub repository within CNCF and also provide a mailing list where people can discuss. We can send out some information and agenda prior, and also have a place to store our recordings within the CNCF YouTube channel. So we created a service desk request for these aids, and we've got them. Let me share my screen to show the items that we have. Right. So I think the last time we were trying to identify the procedure to request for this service desk request was identified as the approach, and now we have got GitHub repository within CNCF to place all our artifacts in. It is not populated right now, but I will be making this change shortly with the charter, the meeting notes, reference to the survey and the white paper, as also the glossary that we have planned. I also got confirmation that we can publish the recordings in CNCF YouTube channel in a dedicated playlist. And I'm waiting on the credentials, so we will probably get some details on that on the open service list ticket. And we also got a mailing list so that we can share information more freely and have more discussions. That's about the logistics part. And we also discussed last time about keeping the survey for longer until such time as the work group is alive, so we can keep getting any user perspective all the way, and keep drafting that into the white paper as we go. The goal is to sort of keep it going and have a ready-made, readily available, fully documented white paper before the upcoming North America KubeCon. So we have about, let's say, a month or so, or a month and a half to go. And we would like to get in some user presentations. People who are actual practitioners can come and speak about their experience with chaos engineering for cloud native applications using any tool of their choice. And then we could use some of their learnings and place some of their perspectives into the paper. And that was the next logical activity we were going to do. User presentations is something that we wanted to do, and I have actually reached out to a couple of users of Litmus who are willing to come and present. I'm sure there are users within the chaos community who can do the same. So we could basically have, let's say we have 3-4 user presentations across different tools, or people who might be using other tools that are not in the CNCF landscape as well, but just to get the general idea of how they're tackling chaos engineering challenges for cloud native apps and use that information. We will be meeting once every 2 weeks, so you can assume that we might get in about 3-4 meetings before the white paper is complete, so we can make use of some of their thoughts. So that's something we can set up for the next call. We could go ahead and get some of the users to start talking. We could give them, let's say, a 15 or 20 minutes slot, either to do a demonstration or maybe just talk through of what they're doing, and sort of pack in a couple of presentations in each of those calls, I would assume. So I think that's an action item that we can take respectively for both of us, and invite some folks to come and present. Apart from that, we wanted to go ahead and select an application upon which we can suggest scenarios just to maintain consistency and have a coherent workflow for the users. When they come and take a look at the different scenarios, they can see it on the same application and can develop a better perspective. The journey of the experiments or the chaos engineering as performed on one application. So we sort of zeroed in on Potato Head as the application, and we did go ahead and commit a microservices branch there to make it a microservices application and lend itself better to chaos engineering scenarios and demonstrations. So what we have missing there are a stateful component. So that's something that we've been working on to add. We will shortly add that into the repository. That is something that is already planned by the maintenance of the Potato Head. So we will be in touch with them and trying to add some stateful components to the microservice application so we can sort of use it to talk about chaos experiments which involve stateful components. So there is some progress on the Potato Head application improvements. I will send that information over on this mailing list when we are able to make some more tangible progress there, and it is committed onto the repository. And the next agenda item was to talk about the dictionary or the glossary that we have for chaos engineering. The goal was to help beginners or maybe practitioners who are not aware of all the technical terminologies within chaos engineering, but might still be practicing it in some ways, to come and take a look at the formal lexicon of chaos engineering, so to say. And we have made progress on that. We wanted to give it a couple of weeks to mature and then start using it within our project documentation, so we can sort of advocate it within the community and sort of share this around. There's a lot of chaos engineering material on the internet, but this is a consolidation of all the major terminologies and philosophy and points associated with it. And this is at this point based on general chaos engineering, not so much for cloud native chaos or microservices apps. It's about general chaos engineering. And we've not followed an alphabetical order, as you can see. It is more about, it is following a flow that you would most associate with a chaos engineering practitioner as he embarks on his journey. So what is chaos engineering and what are its principles? And what is meant by an experiment, how you define blast radius, and what is meant by steady state, how do you formulate hypothesis, and how do you look at observability infrastructure as playing a part of experiments? What is the role generally associated with chaos engineering? How you would carry out experiments? What is the setting in which it is done? What are the KPIs associated with chaos engineering? And what is the general, final metric that people would take a look at as the takeaway of all the work that someone did with chaos engineering? What is the ultimate result? That is the service availability. That's how we have structured it. And I have consciously tried not to use formal definitions available as is on Wikipedia or on the internet. Rather, I've tried to provide some perspective based on community interactions and based on my experience as a practitioner and a contributor to a chaos engineering framework. So try to make it more understandable and try to put some layman explanation around what these are. And I would assume, or I would sort of visualize this incorporating newer terminologies associated with recent changes or evolutions or trends in chaos engineering about cloud native chaos and a declarative approach to chaos, and what is meant by or what is generally meant when someone says security chaos, things like that can be the additions to this document. to make it more complete, and then we can sort of share it around. So I just wanted to draw your attention to the availability of this documentation. I think it can also be a part or an appendix to the white paper. And it's also placed in the work group meeting notes here. So please feel free to go through.
This is really great document and a great progress that you made. And I'm sorry, I think this kind of slipped my mind for some time. So how could we, I think we for all projects involved in chaos engineering and CNCF, we should all participate and contribute to the document. And obviously you guys have already made a very amazing progress on it. So how could we go moving forward from now, and how can we contribute to it from chaos mesh?
Yeah, I think we could do it in multiple ways. Calvin, one way, like I mentioned, is we can probably start filling up sections in the white paper that we sort of agreed initially on the areas that we would like to fill. For example, we basically talked about, in the last meeting, we talked about the sections of the white paper which we can sort of go ahead and fill based on our affiliation with the tags. For example, chaos in CI and CD is something that app delivery would be generally interested in. So as folks who are sort of interacting with the app delivery SIG, we can put some information there. Similarly, SIM had some thought process about how end users are looking at chaos engineering based on his interactions as a CNCF ambassador. So he might go and put some information there from that perspective.
So these are the content for the working group, right?
True. Yes.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, I will try to let the team here know about it and see what we can contribute to the items that you listed here. Yeah.
Sure. The charter is here. It's also linked on the meeting notes, and it has some questions which you might have already taken a look at. So we can probably extend the problem statements and take a look at what is the expected outcomes and goals, and if there's something that you would like to add coming in from the SIG network, the tag network, that would also be great. If you can talk about some scenarios or some sections in the white paper that correspond to common incidents around networking chaos, that's something that would be great. Of course, you can also contribute to the dictionary if you feel that this is missing some terminologies. Please feel free to sort of
so actually for the dictionary, do you think it's necessary to add sections for project specific terminologies? Like for example, some items are specific to litmus scale, some and some are specific to like chaos mesh, but it's not like common ones. I think the currently listed are common terminologies, right? That could be applied to all projects, all chaos engineering projects.
Yes, I would assume that's a great thought. I think that the white paper is going to contain a section about the various tools in the landscape. And I see that being a common trend in different other white papers, where there are some sections dedicated to letting the users know about the available tools in the landscape and how they operate, a brief summarization like we discussed earlier. So in that section, I think we could link a project-specific glossary where there are some terminologies that are native to that project, and people would get a better idea of okay, when I'm navigating this project or starting to use this particular tool, these are the items or terms I should be aware of to proceed. So I think it makes a lot of sense to create a project-specific glossary. I'm sure that will be very useful. We can create it, probably host it in our project documentation, and then link it on the white paper. That's something we could do. The glossary here, the way I have understood it, and I could be wrong, is more about getting folks introduced to the general chaos engineering concepts before they go on to learning the deeper explanations within the white paper, something like a precursor to that.
Yeah, agree. Good.
Okay, let me just make a note.
And also for the presentation that you can just update this first.
Sorry, Calvin, was that a question?
Yeah, for the you know, we will invite some of our users to present in the working group, right? So for this kind of presentation, do we have the templates for, you know, from chaos engineering working group and the CNCF?
It's a good one. We don't have one such, but I think we can create
I think we should have one, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Yes.
This is a great one. Do you have something in mind, Calvin? Maybe you can just list some points on like what you would like the structure of the presentation to be, and I can probably help out with a basic slide deck template.
I think I have on top of my head, I have like something. Firstly, they need to like introduce their business or company, and then they introduce their scenarios or the pain points there of the scenarios for chaos and for testing. Then and they just you know, the focus is on how they solve their testing pain points with chaos engineering, especially cloud native chaos engineering.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just rough cut framework. We can, of course, to make it more specific.
Right.
Yes, maybe a demo, which can be optional depending on the specific case. Yes.
I think this is
and also the kind of results, like comparison before and after they use chaos engineering. Yes.
Great. I'll probably come up with a short, a brief slide deck. I think just with the logo or CNCF
the logos and the color schemes and you know, the CNCF elements.
Yeah, that's great. I'll probably share it on the mailing list, and we can go from there. Since we have about, I think the workgroup sort of can be extended, sort of can operate for as long as it is relevant. But since there is a general goal towards completing the white paper before the KubeCon, and we are going to be making use of the user insights to be placed inside the white paper, I would assume that before August 12th, let's say that's when KubeCon begins, and you would keep a couple of weeks aside for, you know, actually iterating on the white paper and sort of reviewing it finally, etc. Let's say you have about a month and a half, so that gives us around 3-4 meetings, I would assume. So if we would like enough user information to be captured during that, considering there will also be general working group updates that we would make as members. Let's say we have about 40 minutes dedicated for user presentations, and we could try and pack in 1 or 2 presentations in each of the subsequent calls, if at all we have the agenda. Of course, it's subject to folks coming forward to present it and having the time to do it. But that would sort of leave us to, have some 20 minutes per presentation. Do you think that is a fair amount of time to capture this info?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Of course, we can increase or decrease it based on the agenda that's available, but we'll try and keep it short. Great. So this is a good outcome. I think I'll share the slide deck based on this. Feel free to modify that. Yeah, I think that's all we have for the agenda. Let me check if we have any other folks who've joined. I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's just us.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you. And it's really great work. Yeah.
Thanks, Calvin. Thank you for joining today. I will be sharing this notes on the channel, and the recording. I think we have been recording.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it reminded me. Yeah,
we'll try and get this uploaded on YouTube. The older recordings are available here. It's still on a shared Zoom link. I think we will get credentials on the open services ticket on the upload credentials. So we'll do that eventually.
Great.
Okay, thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye for now.